Oh my god. I look so eerie at the side of the camera. Wow. Hey. Um, I was gonna say something, but I think I'm just gonna read until I find the words for it. Well, let me say this actually. But I was thinking there's like every single one of like the book pages that I've ever found on like Instagram. I don't mean like physical book pages, but like book like profiles, like reading based profiles. Like my dad downstairs. Did anybody hear that? Did anybody hear that? But I realized all of the like reading pages that I ever see are like so like European ethic, basically whitewashed. But like every single one of them is like it's like academia core, like core. Um, but then it's like white academia core. I don't even know if there's like a good way to like explain it in words that I can find right now. But it's like things not even highlighting like intentionally highlighting like inaccessibility of reading, but like it's like all of the pages that are uplift like the aesthetic of academia. But the only times that academia is really ever aesthetic is whenever you have like the way I learn is not aesthetic at all. um there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad and ugly, not even in like the actual like bad nor ugly by term or phrase way, but in the way like I is this too much to say online? No. That's a line I still don't know where to draw. Um, but like my setting is not a library nor a study nor word of the year, TVH, but it's not anything pretty. Like right now, I can't see my floor. There's a pile of laundry literally higher than my desk. There's at least like 30 fucking Reese's wrappers on my bed. Um, like I feel like because the only times that we see reading now, because it's been so rapidly replaced by technology, and like the only people that can really not even afford to sit down and read because it's way more accessible than we know it is, but the only people that are that have their learning sensationalized are the people that have it in ways that are wanted by other people. Like if you can do things in a state of organization or in a state of complete just like focus on what it is that you're doing without anything else. I read whenever I am so overwhelmed, whenever there's literally not a single thing that I want to be doing, whenever I don't feel like moving, whenever I don't feel like getting up and taking my ass to do anything else. I read at my lowest, I read at my highest. I read whenever I had the best day ever. I read whenever I had a life changing experience. I have only rediscovered reading by rediscovering its literally intrinsic intersectionality. Like, there is not a certain type of person, category of person that is better at reading than others. For the longest time, that's what kept me out of so learning so many things because I just felt like such an imposter on the topic matter and whatnot. But I'm like, you don't have to be like a rich bitch to read. You just gotta be a lit bitch. And that is way more accessible. So that is my first and foremost priority. Actually, second and foremost. Second of these Reese's. Ready? 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 That's the issue. That's the issue. So a little flagrant look at that wrist. That's that issue. I'm too comfortable doing like That's muscle memory at this point. And they've been fridge tempered. This is peak life. Okay, anyways, I'm reading this book called White Only. Also because I like reading because sometimes shows don't give you this type of like all of it. I feel like so much of the time I'll watch a show and I'll be like, what the fuck is going on? And it just does not make sense to me in the slightest. Um, and because I understand art whenever words are used to explain it, which is, I love still like visual media and stuff like that just because I have an appreciation for like how pretty things are. But like, I rarely watch a movie and understand all of it, let alone any of it. So I don't know. I enjoy reading because it's actually like a chance for me to like, oh wait, I won and fucked it up. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. All is well in the world. Okay, ready? I did it perfectly halfway. Oh, mm-mm. And also because of how, I don't even want to say obsolete because it's definitely not in a state of like obsolescence yet. Like reading is still up and at 'em. We still have paper books and stuff like that. But it's like because it's becoming more obsolete, people are using books for more niche things. So everyone's like, oh, to read a book, it has to be like fucking something. And people are like, oh, I hate reading. It's so boring. It's not very interesting. That's because we learn how to read in school. First of all, first nor Fillmore. What the fuck am I saying ever? It's like I read things about stuff that I am greatly passionate about. But first and foremost, mindless entertainment. The same way. No. Okay. The same way I watch Glee more than like anything else because it's just like life. Like that just reminds me of like you have to like stop taking things so seriously. Like that's why I read sometimes because it's like not every book has to be like an educational journey. It can literally just be like something to remind you that like there are more forms of media than visual. Your mind, long story short, you are capable of doing hard things. And whenever you try to do those hard things, you'll realize that 99.9% of them are either not hard or are best started by starting wherever the fuck you feel comfortable. There is no set starting point for ever so literally anything. And if you keep trying to be like formulaic with your approach, you're gonna efficiency with your time your way out of all of your passions and interests. None of my interests are efficient. None of them. No matter how much I wish that they could be, I start and restart 1,010,000 times. I engage and disengage on a daily basis. Some days I spend more time looking at my phone than participating in society. Some days society is a concept, but instead of by electronics, it's by fucking reading or my interests and stuff like that. So it's like there's literally no like finish line for your passions. There's no quota to meet, no goal to reach unless you set one for yourself, which is why for my passions, I try to keep them as like boundless as I can by literally refusing to set limits on the things that it is that I do because I know I get overwhelmed easily. And I feel like by identifying literally just my realm of comfortability with ever so literally fucking anything in my life, I make it so that like I don't have to be like, oh, well, it's just reading. I can tell myself I want to read like 50 books this year. Well, as soon as I see that number, if I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, then why the fuck would I put it out in the first place? So it's like, I'm allowed to be uncomfortable with things that are simple for other people. I'm allowed to. I don't know why I believe any otherwise, but I am allowed to be made very uncomfortable by things that other people and joy. That's one of the biggest things about being neurodivergent. People will always try to force a solution on you that works for a mass of people whose mind follows the same patterns. But because it's not profitable to take the time to identify what patterns different minds follow, because there are so many and it's so hard to figure out, you just grow up in a lifetime of not accommodating yourself until you realize, I can't live a life that is not for me forever. So that's where I'm at. I'm at the stage where I'm currently always trying to learn how to accommodate myself, always trying to learn how to take time for myself in a world that does not want me to. Because I'm like, it's not even the world that doesn't want me to, it's this society that doesn't want me to. Because I'm like a very, like, if something doesn't serve me, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm not one of those that's about to stick it through and be like, you know what? If it doesn't give me what I need, it's going to one way or a fucking another if I stay long enough. No. No. Because there's only a degree to which I can willingly participate in my demise. And the only times that I've ever done that is whenever it's been like an absolute survival necessity. But even then, it's like, that's not a sustained thing to do. Emphasis on survival, which is why I'm trying to like kind of break out of a survival mindset on so many things, because I'm like, it's not, this is my well being that I'm creating. This is my complacency in my own failure and in my own misery. So, by being an active, yeah, participant in my wellness and my biggest sponsor of my happiness, I do things at my time, outside of convention, in convention, whatever the fuck works so that it actually fits my person. So, with no further ado, yeah, but this book is called White Oleander by Janet Fitch. Me as fuck. Me as fuck. And also, you don't need to know the words, all of the words that you're reading. Because I feel like so much of the time, because not all of reading is like an accessible language, that makes so many people afraid of it. And it used to make me terrified of it, but then I realized, um, what a better way to live, to be consistently interacting with things that I have not the slightest clue about. It has literally done nothing but just made me dive headfirst into actually exploring those things. Like whenever I find a word that I don't know, like at the back of every single notebook that I keep, I write down on the last page. The last page is always reserved for words that I don't know, and I just write them all down. like ones that I hear in class, ones that I hear in passing. I always carry a notebook with you and a pen. My favorite pens are the Inkjoy ones. I think that's what they're called, or they're the pen. Fuck, not pen pal, pen mate. I don't even know. But in your books, um, if you want to like carry a highlighter, but my biggest thing is like I just don't always have a highlighter with me, and it stressed me out because sometimes I'll be reading and I'm like, oh my god, what the motherfuck is even going on here? And then it's like I want to like write it down or some bullshit, but then it's like there's nothing that I have the capacity within myself to get my ass up and go get. So I was like, yeah, so you could just like bookmark a page and always come back to it in some mess and whatnot. But then I'm always like, oh, well, I remember what word. And then I'm like, to hell if I do, to hell if I don't. Because what I realize, it's like, not everything is meant to be like diligent with. Like, you are allowed the same way if you watch a show whenever you're younger and you don't understand any of it, but you understand the, but you enjoyed the watching experience, you're allowed to do the same thing with the book. You're allowed to read the whole thing, understand none of it, and come back to it whenever you're ready, or never come back to it at all. Certain things are like whenever things are put into the universe, they are supposed to be interacted with within your capabilities. You are not supposed to, once again, be efficient with reading. It's not like the first time you read it, you have to understand it all. I don't understand half of this book. Well, that's not true. I feel like I wouldn't have understood half of this book if I had that mindset that I used to have about that, oh, whenever I read it, I have to understand all of it as I'm reading it. Because I'll read a page and I won't understand any of it, but then I'll keep on reading. And then whenever my mind is in a place where I'm ready to do that little comprehension work or ready to look for it, I'll go back and I'll find it. And it makes me understand it that much more because I'm actually invested in it rather than, what the fuck, forcing myself to get something that I don't get in the moment. But, anyways, I digress. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that fucking means. And I love the feeling of pages. My favorite thing about starting to read was realizing what type of books I like physically. I love hardcovers, paperback, hardback. Wait, soft cover, hardcover, paperback, hard. I don't even know. I like hardback books, hardcover, whatever the hell it's called. Oh my god, I love the way this sounds, and I love it. And I love just any book like this size. I like paperbacks though to be like about an inch shorter, like this big, and then bending them, not the whole way around. I hate whenever people hold them like a one page thing, because I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. But I love, oh my god, and then just like bending the pages and hearing it. I have this one book called Tony's Wife, where all of the pages are water damaged, but it makes the book so hefty. And anytime oh my god, it's like a part of the reason I really like reading now is because it's like a sensory experience. Like, listen, that's beautiful. That is the best thing I've ever heard of ever in my entire life ever. And like what I like to do whenever I'm reading is like go down the page as I read it, and it makes me want to read it faster. But then sometimes I get overwhelmed and I read too much and I don't understand what I read. But then you could just go back as many times and you want and just fuck that up again. Oh, I love it! I love it! I love it! Oh my god! Okay, Oh. Girl, what the fuck? Like, why would you ever? Very gay. White women love an MLM. That is a good MLM. Oh, I love this. From infinity to infinity. Hello. Love a black woman from infinity to infinity. Also, books help so much if you're ever feeling lonely because my biggest thing is like I spend a lot of time alone, but like not on purpose. And so I feel lonely a lot and I forget a lot of the time like feelings of isolation are so amplified or like any negative feelings are like really amplified because I'm like feeling not just alone in the moment but alone in the feeling that came. And I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. Nobody feels like this. I can't believe I'm like the only one that feels like this. But then reading and being able to be like, damn, this is like a common ass human experience. Not in like a minimizing my feelings with, but like in a like everything will be okay. If other people have went through this and came out to see the other side, I can do the same. Not in a way that like other people's abilities are mine, but like I am allowed to be okay whenever XYZ happens. Yeah. And also, time goes so much slower. It goes so much slower. Like, I feel like I'll be on Instagram for like 15 minutes, but then it's actually been like 3 hours. But I'll be reading for like 10 minutes, and it's actually been like two. And I'm like, wow, love life. Oh my god. Because I hate always, anytime I look at the clock, I swear like another hour's passed, and I hate feeling like time is running out. And it has been one of the biggest things that has helped me on my journey to like kind of stop using time, except for relativity. Um, but it is so very nice. I really enjoy it. It's so hot right now. Whatever. Ooh. Oh no. That girl is 14. Yes, necessarily. Like, okay, I think I'm gonna go.